Hey Neil, James here, and as a straight man, I was a bad ally this past weekend. I did not make it to the marches. I don't feel great about it. I definitely missed out on a historical moment in this nation's history, and I wish I had been a part of it because I do think some really amazing things are going to come out of it. Attendance goes as high in estimation as like 2.8 to 2.9 million just in our country alone, like across the nation. When you read the statistics from like city to city, you find out that those estimates have like go anywhere from like 200,000 to 500,000. That's my dog. But yeah, so with some places saying anywhere from like 200,000 to 500,000 in attendance, that's still like a 300,000 difference of what it could actually be, which is a lot, but I would optimistically like to think that it's in the higher area that's being reported, especially because 2.8 million is a very important number when considering things like the popular vote that happened here. 2.8 million is also the same amount that was the popular vote that Clinton won here in the past election. And when news of that finally came out and those numbers were tallied, people started doing their research. People said 2.8 million was also the same amount that Clinton won the majority of in California, so really Clinton only won California. It's not true. I don't know why people choose to pick California as like the one state that Clinton won, even though California is the 7th largest economy in the world, is way ahead of the game in terms of minimum wage. And the only reason this country gets to bask in the glory of avocados, it's a dangerous misrepresentation of facts, and it also spits in the face of all the electoral votes that she got when she got the majority in like 19 other states. What the Women's March and protest showed us was that those 2.8 million votes did not just come from California, but from women and men across the whole country. And you can't electoral college a protest. I may not have been at any of the march or the protests, but I saw so much of it through my Instagram because it was just nothing. My Instagram was nothing but pictures of the Women's March and protests from all my friends that were participating around the country. And Neil, if it showed me anything, it's that the future is female, and women are going to save the world. At this point, I'm convinced that they're the only ones who can, and Neil, you and I, as allies, if we really consider ourselves that, we have to do everything that we can to make sure that they do. Hillary Clinton may have lost the election, but the Women's March showed us that she still started something, and I can't wait to see where it leads. Also, for our other viewers, I know that like so many things have happened this week on the political landscape alone, with the EPA and the order for the wall being signed and the federal hiring being frozen, and like a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Also, rest in peace, Mary Tyler Moore. But the thing is, we live in a 24-hour news cycle, and the Women's March was a huge thing, huge news story on Saturday and Sunday, but by Sunday afternoon, with all the ulterior facts and stuff, like people just weren't even talking about it anymore. So I think it's important that we did spend this week still talking about one of the biggest protests, the biggest protest to happen in this country ever. And I think we need to keep talking about it and make it a part of all the conversations that we have going forward over the next 4 to 8 years, to remind ourselves that we do have the power to do these things. We just can't let ourselves be distracted by stunt politics and shit. Pardon my language. So with that in mind, go ahead and hit me up in the comments section telling me about your favorite moments from the march, whether you were there or just observed yourself. Also, feel free to volunteer some ideas of topics that Neil and I should talk about. We would love to hear and have your input of what you want to see on this channel. Till then, for the love of all things holy, share this video so that other people can subscribe to this channel. Not that we're doing it for the numbers, but numbers are nice. Have a great weekend. Neil, thank you so much for your video. Thank you so much for participating in the march on Saturday and being the wonderful, beautiful, activist human that you are. I will see you next week. All y'all have a good one. Toodles.